everybody, it's SimmerationX here, and as promised, here is a base game only build. Now, when I started this out, I had no idea what I wanted this build to look like. I did know that I wanted it to be a two-story, and I knew I wanted it to be a family home, but I kind of struggled a little bit about if I wanted to have a stucco look or a brick or just regular, clapboard siding. So I kind of went back and forth on this one a little bit, but ultimately I think it's really cute, and I hope you guys like this one and you enjoy it. Especially there were a couple of folks who requested that I do a base game build. And as always, I started testing this one out in game, but there's a couple more things that I wanted to test out to make sure that the Sims can get to everything in the house without a problem before I actually share it to the gallery. And once I do, guys, if you want to play with this one, if you like this build, as always, remember to enable the move objects cheat before you place it, because if you don't, a few things are going to disappear on you and you're going to wonder where they went. Now, this house is not as large as the last house, but if you paid attention, you can see the last build, the Tranquil Crescent, is right across the street. And it is a family home, just not as big as that one. What does this one have? This one has, I think it has 3 bedrooms. Yes, I did 3 bedrooms, and I did 2 full baths. A full bath upstairs for the kiddos, and there's an ensuite for the adults. There's also a half bath downstairs, but if you need a 4th bedroom, you could make this house a 4th bedroom. It's just upstairs I have 1 bedroom that's kind of like designed for a boy and another one designed for a girl. And there are 2 beds. You'll see the way that I did it. I have a toddler bed, and then I have just like a regular kid bed in both. And then I also have a playroom. And so if you need a 4th bedroom, you could definitely nix the playroom and have a 4th bedroom. But I thought it would be kind of fun to just have a room where your kids can play and they can have all of their toys. Because again, this is not a large house, so there won't be a lot of room to add in any toys within their own separate bedrooms, is what I'm trying to say. There is also an area that is undecorated, and that is because I left that to be a laundry room. Now I figured if you just have base game, and you, of course, that means you don't have laundry day, so you won't have a washer and dryer. But I figured if people like this house and they do have that pack, that's exactly where that would go, guys. You can just plop the washer and dryer down in there. And if you don't have that pack, you're not looking to get it because you don't want to have to do any laundry, that other space, hey, I guess you can make it another bathroom. It's big enough to where you can get the combo tub and shower in there. So I think that's really nice too. So here it is. You see me going back and forth. It's like, to me, building is not, it's not hard to do for me. What is hard is for me to make up my mind and what I want the house to look like if I don't have something, if I don't have like a plan that I'm following, because sometimes I go on Pinterest, or I just go on the internet, or I just build a house that I've seen before that I liked from memory. But if I don't have like a floor plan that I'm following, it's like I change my mind a lot, like a lot. And I'm changing my mind here because I did not want to do kind of like those cookie cutter subdivisions, but I did have in my mind that this area would be kind of like the more expensive homes in Newcrest. However, you go into a subdivision and it's like it's 200,000 and up or 300,000 and up. I figured this particular home would be the cheapest home in this upscale area. The last one that I built that is across the way is definitely pricier and it's bigger. You could potentially have the same amount of bedrooms, but all of the bedrooms in my last build, it's really big. So if you're also someone who kind of likes more, the houses that's a little bit more on the smaller scale, this one is for you as well. But I did finally decide that I didn't want brick because I kind of envision that these folks that are going to be living over here in this subdivision, they are a little bit more like middle age. Yes, they have kids, and everyone is still of childbearing age. And I don't know. At first, this was just kind of giving me like your grandma's or grandpa's house type of vibe. Um, and I think it was mostly because I struggled with the window selection because it has been so long, so long since I've built a base game house. Because when I got Sims 4, um, it wasn't long after I got started getting packs because I really like to build and decorate in The Sims. So that's the main thing that I do. So me and just base game for any extended period of time, we don't get along. So I had forgotten the kind of like the bare minimum window selection that you have for base game. I was just like, oh my goodness, guys, how do you do it? But it's still really cute. Don't get me wrong, it's a cute house. I love this house. Typically, when I do a build, my last build, I really fall in love with it. But I have to say, even though I really like this build, and I think it's really cute, the Tranquil Crescent um, is still my fave right now. This one did not beat that out. And here it is. I'm finally like finding a siding that I love and I think it's really cute and I love this color. And I was like, you know what? Let me find a color that I don't use very often. And I don't know why, because I think it's really pretty. And then once I put this color up, I remembered the foundation. I was like, oh, I think there's a matching foundation that I can do with this particular siding. And I lost that big, huge round window, which on this house, I don't know, it was almost making it look like some type of Victorian nautical type house. And I wasn't feeling that. So I got rid of that window. Um, and yeah, a little later you'll see me. The house was still missing something, some sort of detail. I switched out the door here because again, the door was almost giving me a little bit too much Victorian, and I wanted it to be a little bit um gosh, I kind of almost wanted to say southern, but I've also seen these types or these style of homes um kind of on the upper east coast as well, not just down south. Um and that just kind of popped in my mind, but in my mind there were like a couple of houses I remembered from my childhood seeing, and that's kind of what I was going off of here. But yeah, there are some East Coast homes that I've seen this kind of style as well. Um And yeah, I also realized that base game does not have a fire pit. And I was like, oh my God, I so had in my mind I was gonna do a deck, um, and a swing. And I was like, there's no swing for a base game. So I gave your kids the monkey bars. And because there was not a fire pit, I know sometimes people build those out. They use a fireplace and they shrink it down. I didn't want to shrink it down. So I gave you like a shrunken, I don't want to say fire pit, but like a, because it's not a pit, it is an actual fireplace. And there are outdoor fireplaces. So I stuck in a fireplace in the backyard with a couple of benches, and I sunk that down. And I think that's really cute. I did play it. I tested it. The Sims can get down there. They can light the fireplace, and they can sit at the two benches that I have down there. So that all works out just fine. But I was shocked when I realized there was not, like, there is not a fire pit. Come on, man. Let's give these base game folks a fire pit too. And here I'm doing my little landscaping in the front, putting some flowers around this tree, which was a little bit of a pain because there were a couple of times where I went to rotate the camera and it jumps on you a lot. And when you're using the move objects cheat, a lot of times you can't position things exactly the way you want to unless you are at a very particular angle. And then you can slide things up, just like when you're trying to slide plants closer to the house. A lot of times you can do it if you switch the camera angle over to the side rather than the front view and trying to push the plant up against the house. So guys, sometimes if you're trying to do that and the plant just keeps popping up to up above the foundation height, sometimes you can get a little bit closer if you change your camera angle off over to the side and then slide it up. Now, I was thinking about possibly doing some tips and tricks to landscaping. Guys, let me know in the comment section if that's something that you guys would find helpful. If I were to go through and explain my thought process and how I come up with landscaping. I am definitely not the ultimate or best landscaper. I remember when I first started building in The Sims, I struggled with landscaping so much. I was really, really bad at landscaping. But now I think I do a pretty good job, and I think some of the things that I come up with is pretty cute. So if you struggled like how I used to struggle a lot and you think that would be helpful, just, leave me a comment down in the comment section. And if enough people say that that's something that will be helpful, I definitely do that. I might do it anyway, but I definitely want to create some videos that you guys find not only entertaining but also helpful. And right here is where I'm getting ready to add a little extra detail to the roof line, I should say, not just to the roof. And I think it really helped it look better. I mean, it was just it was a little plain, a little bit on the plain side for me. It was still a nice house, but it was just, I just was like, it's missing something. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. Let's add something a little bit different to the roof. And here we go on the inside. And like I said, this is not a huge house, but you have enough space for someone to get in there and cook. And I tested it out. You'll see in a little while what I'm referring to exactly, but I was concerned about where I put the trash can and where you walk into the kitchen. But everything cleared. There was no problem with any of my Sims being able to go and walk into the kitchen or be able to take out the trash. And I must say, I think the favorite thing about this house for me, on the inside, because I really do like the fireplace, that sunken fireplace area outdoors, but I love the windows going all the way across the back wall in the kitchen. And yeah, and then a lot of times I know I'm guilty of this, and I see other builders do this as well. We'll put cabinets across the windows, but I did not want to do that here. A little while ago, you saw me put a cabinet there, and then I moved it because I was like, no, I don't want to put any cabinets over by a window at all. Sometimes you can do it and get away with it, and it still looks nice depending on what type of windows you've used and how big they are. It's a particular look, and it comes off really nice. And but that was not what I wanted to do, especially since this was a smaller kitchen, and I packed a lot of lower cabinets in a small space. So you'll see what I mean. You have that one grid to get to the stove. You don't have a ton of space for a lot of Sims standing around in the kitchen, but you do have plenty of space where, one of your Sims can be cooking dinner and the others can definitely go and get to the fridge without a problem, and someone else can come and take out the trash. That's not going to be an issue with the way the layout is. And I really like that. What I did struggle with is here in this family room, guys, I just realized the limited selection of seating. And there's this nice sofa that does not have a chair, a coordinating chair, to go with it. And I was like, man, I thought there was a chair that went with this, and it may be a chair. Unfortunately, that came in a particular pack that I have, because I thought there was a chair that I used to go with this, but it was not. And I like the curtains here. I switched this out, the one with like the swoop to the curtain, and looking back on it right now, because I changed it and I made them all the same type, I think I'm going to switch it back, guys, before I share it to the gallery and put the one swoop back there, because with that particular curtain just on that one side, when your Sim walks in and out of the door, they won't walk through a curtain. Yeah, and I had it like that, and then I wasn't really sure if I liked it, and I changed it, and then while I was test playing it, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to switch it back, because who wants to watch their Sim walk back and forth through a curtain? I don't. And then blinds, I liked those blinds, but what I did not like was those lines that you were getting from the glitch when I lined them up together. So I switched that out and I just did different ones. And I felt like, actually I kind of liked it better. It might be like 50-50. I might like them the same. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I went with those. And if you notice or you're paying attention with my builds, I'm doing here what I do a lot of times. I like to, usually I'll either find a rug or a sofa that has cushions on them, and I'll pull from the colors that are in that rug or in the sofa cushions. And I will use those colors throughout the main floor. If I have a 2-story house that I'm working on, I think it all flows better. So that's a little tip for you guys. If you're like, well, I like the way she puts things together. How does she do that? How does she choose her colors? That's the way I choose my colors. Usually I start with a rug because I really think that the Sims 4 rug game needs some help. So sometimes the rug is what I struggle to find. So that's why I start off with that sometimes, but sometimes not. So either way, that's what I'm doing. Or if there's a picture or a painting that I saw and I really want to use that painting because I really liked it and I think it's going to go with the style or the vibe of the house, then I will pull the curtains. Don't mind me. I don't pull the curtains. I'll pull the colors from out of the painting, and I'll go through and try to find a sofa and then the rug that kind of corresponds with that. And then I'll use the different colors in the paintings as wall colors in the other rooms. So if you're one of the people who's like, I usually just do neutral colors because I'm bad at putting things together. I don't know what colors work, what colors go together. Try doing that, and that should help you out a lot. If you would like to use more color, but you just feel like somehow the colors you choose don't quite go together. So if you choose a rug or a sofa or a painting and then pull the colors from there and you're using those same colors throughout, trust me, it will look nice. It's going to look like it goes together and it belongs because you have a focal point or something you pulled from to put together your color palette. And here I am struggling with this little red shelf. I love that red shelf. I really do. But you will find, guys, if you downloaded the shelf in tight spaces, it can be a pain to get things to go where you want them to because certain objects want to snap in place to your countertops or your shelves. So it's a pain. I sometimes try to make it go where I want it to go without moving the cabinets just because I don't feel like doing it. And I should have just moved the cabinets to start with and I would have already had the item up there. I just made it longer than it had to be. But that's another tip and trick. If you have that red shelf and it's like you feel like other people make it look so easy to use it and you're not getting how they put particular objects on because when you're doing it, it doesn't work. It is probably because your item is wanting to snap to a cabinet or a shelf nearby. So you have to move the cabinets out of the way. Sorry, guys. That's the only way to do it. You have to move them out of the way and then put it back. So if you know you're going to use a shelf, it's best to go ahead and place your shelves and then put your items on the shelf that you want. Then put your cabinets. But hey, if you're like me, I kind of realize where I want shelves and things to go after I put my kitchen cabinets in. So it's not very helpful for me at all. And here you see I used 2 end tables or 2 coffee tables. And one of them I sized down. I like to do that. I think it looks really cute. It's kind of like nesting tables. But you'll see sometimes you can use the red shelf to put items on there. But a lot of the end tables, it's just best to just do the Control 9 and lift it up. For some reason, you don't get that awkward space in between the object a lot of times when you're using something like a plant that is supposed to go on the floor, but you want to put it on a tabletop. That you can use the Control 9 to raise it up and you won't get that awkward space. But you can also use the red shell to do that, if you wanted to as well. But it's just real simple. It's usually easier to just control 9 that one. And this cute little circle rug, I decided on using it, even though I was kind of like, it goes, but I didn't know. I was back and forth with that one because I felt like it was a little contemporary, but then after I placed it, I felt good about it and I thought it was cute. Then I moved on to this dining room. And when I tell you, guys, I felt like I was trying to decorate grandmother's home. I mean, I really felt like I was trying to decorate grandmother's home, because the selection, I was just like, man. And it's just table and chairs, so I can't even like combine some objects to make it look better. But I promise you guys, I did not leave those chairs and that china cabinet. Woo! I saw that china cabinet and I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking. It's not that it's not nice. It's just it really was not going with everything else that I had already had. So I don't know. Those chairs and that china cabinet was making me think of something that was like, I don't know, Max's build or something. And am I the only one? Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say this anyway. Some of those Max's faves that pop up when you go to the gallery, am I the only one who's like, what? Why? What? Like, wait, what? What? You guys really favorited that? And you click on the house and the house looks extremely plain and the interior looks extremely plain. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them are really nice, but there are some, like, I'm just, really? I don't know. I kind of feel like, let me know in the comment section if I am not alone, because I swear I think it a lot. Like, I think it a lot. And there are some of the households that are favorited, and I'm like, why is this cast a Max's fave when, I mean, it's just one of the randomly generated Sims and they didn't make any change to the Sim? Please let me know if I am not alone, because I swear I've noticed that more and more lately. If you just go in a cast and just let the game give you a Sim, it's like that's the exact Sim that was a Max's fave. It's like, come on, they didn't do anything different. They didn't change hair color, the eyes, nothing at all. But okay, that's my little unpopular opinion tidbit for today. Enough of that. Yes, enough of that. But as I was gonna say as usual, but I'm not gonna say as usual. Like how I did last time, I'm gonna let you guys watch me decorate the family room and the kitchen and the dining room, and then I'm gonna let you. This is the master. And then I'm gonna wrap it up, because this was, even though it's not a huge house, there were still a lot of rooms. There were a lot of rooms, and I went back and forth with how I was going to decorate the rooms. But there is also downstairs an office area. So you have that too. So there's like plenty of space in this house for your Sims to do things without it being a really huge build. It's like, it's not a tiny house. It's not a small house. It's kind of like a medium size house, I guess. There's enough space for what you need. There's not any excessive space, I guess. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's just enough for what your sim needs to do in his or her life. So there is that. And I chose this bed. I was going for color. If you realize, all of a sudden I went to a very neutral color, and that would be because that was the only bed that I could find that I liked, and I like the pattern of so that explains that one. But I did do kind of like the pattern as if it was striped wallpaper. There it is. That I felt gave it a little something, so it wouldn't just be plain, regular, normal, neutral colors. And don't get me wrong, I love neutral. I really do. But I love to play with colors in The Sims. Yeah, just because it's fun. And if it doesn't look right, it's very easy to delete it. Just delete it and start over. Completely different from real life. And if you put a hideous, ugly purple color on your wall that's too loud and too much, it's a lot of money and a lot of hassle to change it. So I'm like, it's not like that with The Sims. And that's why I like to play with color here and put things together sometimes just to see how they look, and to see how it goes. I am debating. I am going to do another restaurant, but after I finish up this Newcrest, I'm thinking maybe I'll build a house for an erratic sim. I think that might be fun. What does the mind of an erratic sim like to see in his or her home? That would be good. But with that thought, I leave you with a quick tour.